Another thing that can really affect your overall sound is pitch. Now, I've saved this for later in the course because so often people start there. They assume that if you just sing in tune, what else is there? That's singing. Wrong. Unhealthy pitch correction technique leads to massive problems down the road. But still, you must find a way to become a master of your pitch in order to be a great singer. So let's look at pitch together. Pitch is ultimately the speed of vibration. The faster sound waves vibrate, the higher the pitch. Think of a fan blade. As a fan blade spins faster, the pitch gets higher. So to change your pitch, you want to think of it in terms of fast and slow, not high and low. This imagery helps you avoid unnecessary tightening in order to change your pitch. If you have a powerful and speedy column of air supporting your note, the pitch will be high enough. Now let's get sort of microscopic now. In a simplified way, we can think of pitches like letters in a musical ladder, A, B, C sharp, D, E, and you just pick one to sing. However, it's more like that fan. There's an infinite number of speeds that fan can go, and so there are an infinite number of tiny steps, higher or lower, that a pitch can go. These tinier slices are called cents because it's 100 cents from an A to an A sharp, for example. So you might be singing an A, pretty much, but maybe you're 12 cents sharp or 10 cents flat. So the tiny little details of your pitch can mean the difference between good pitch and great pitch. So how do you get more accurate pitch? How do you get great pitch? Singing often and listening quickly. I say singing often because you need a huge quantity of reps with your voice to learn over time, subconsciously, exactly what it feels like to sing a C sharp or a B flat. But the more you do it, the more quickly your voice moves to exactly the right vibration speed instantly. I also say listening quickly because with an infinite number of possibilities in pitch with an instrument like the voice, your ear becomes an essential part of pitch. Hundreds of times a second, your brain is processing what your ear is hearing as you sing, and it adapts. I heard a quote once from a famous violinist who was known for his excellent sense of pitch. When he was asked how he did it, he said he has just learned to listen quickly. In those brief moments when you're out of tune and you're still searching for the perfect pitch, listening quickly and correcting is what makes it seem like you were never out of tune at all. Okay, out of tune, in tune. In tune with what? Often when you're singing, you're being accompanied by instruments or you're singing with other people. So being in tune really means being in tune with the other musicians. But how do you do that? Balancing out volumes becomes crucial. You must find the sweet spot where you sing loud enough that you hear yourself well, but you can also still hear the other instruments or voices that you need to reference pitches from and which you need to balance with. In my church, we use in-ear monitors, and sometimes a singer who generally sings very in tune will suddenly be out of tune for a whole song at a time. And the first culprit I always look for in that situation is volume levels of what's in their in-ear monitors. Can they hear themselves well? And more importantly, can they hear the instruments they're trying to sing in tune with well? Usually the answer is no. And they can't hear the other instruments and voices well because they're too quiet. So their brains are telling them that they're singing perfectly in tune when actually they're just playing off. So if you do that, be a little picky about what you're hearing in your monitor so you can hear it as you need it. Another way to improve your hearing of pitch is to do ear training classes or exercises. When you practice recognizing different notes and intervals and harmonies through a class devoted to those things, your pitch really does improve. You start to learn how your voice fits into the larger harmony of the song, and you start to learn what certain intervals should sound like. So that's the framework for pitch. Let me give you a couple exercises and activities that you can do to help develop your vocal pitch. First, singing vacuum sounds. As you do that, you're moving not note to note, but scent to scent, and you're strengthening your ability to hear minute changes in the pitch. Another one is listening to recordings of yourself, which is so painful, but very fruitful. So don't be too critical, but also learn from what you hear. Another thing you can do is fitting your note inside someone else's, like on a recording that you're listening to in the car. When you sing along with that vocalist, try to get your voice to just fit right inside, so that if you were singing full volume along with them, your voice just disappears inside of theirs. That disappearing feeling is singing in tune, and it's also matching tone as well. Another thing is singing a cappella with only a starting pitch. So the classic example of this would be like the national anthem. Oh, say, can you see? Oh, you could sing that note and, or start the song rather, and find that note, maybe on a piano or a tune or something like that. Then sing the whole song, then go back and see if you stayed in tune. So that's a great activity for learning to improve your pitch. Another thing is singing with a tuner. Now this can be very discouraging, but when you do this, if you have like a tuner for a guitar or some sort of tuning machine, singing and watching if you're in tune or out of tune can be very helpful, because you'll find that it's extraordinarily hard to stay in tune for any length of time. But doing that is a great exercise for developing your pitch. There's a variation on that too, which is there are a lot of apps out there these days where they actually will show you where your pitch is as you sing, and they'll combine it with pop music. Star Maker is one, and there's many versions of this out there, The Voice. You can sing along with those and really see how in tune or out of tune you are. It's not a great tool to use in isolation, just that's all you do, because you might be in tune, but you might be using poor technique to get there. But if your technique is solid and you just want to improve your pitch, those exercises can be very helpful and very eye-opening. Another thing you can do is listening for the lock. Listening for the lock. So when I say that, when you're singing with someone else, harmonizing with someone else, or even in unison with someone else, when your voice locks together with theirs, in the air there's a wobble. It has to do with the way the sound waves are moving and the frequencies, but there's a wobble when you're out of tune, and it's not at the note that you're singing, it's a higher pitch above the note you're singing. And if you really listen carefully, you can start to hear that wobble turning into a lock when you're truly in tune, whether you're on the same pitch or in a harmonized pitch. So training yourself to listen for the lock is a really good thing for improving pitch. And then finally, and this may be kind of a shock or a surprise, not something you were expecting, is to learn a musical instrument. So I know that has nothing to do with singing, or so it seems, but I find that most instrumentalists have better pitch when they sing than those who just know how to sing. And I think it's just something, it's exercising your brain in a way that trains you to recognize pitch, and it gives you a framework, because the instrument has something tangible that you can actually refer to and see and touch and feel that the voice doesn't have. And so whether it's piano or violin or guitar or flute, clarinet, it kind of doesn't matter, because all of those instruments give you an opportunity to create pitch and have something to associate with it. I'll use this as a commercial. You don't have to use my course, but I do have a course out, Piano Building Blocks, where you can learn how to play piano. But again, like, I hesitate to even mention it, because that's not the point of why I throw it out there. I really have discovered that those who have spent the time learning a musical instrument reap the benefits of the pitch in their singing voice. So no matter what of those things you choose to do, any one of those things will really help develop the accuracy of your pitch.